Greetings and salutations. Yes, this is not a usual video, and as you can see from the title and from the background, we got story time with Lantern. I can only hear someone go wee. So we had the purple bus pop story. We've had Nate the Snake. He now has something new.
Oh yes. But because you see, gorillas are important. Conservation is a hugely important thing. I am a strong proponent of protecting wildlife. Aren't you, Suraht?
Oh yeah, we the wildlife is definitely a thing that needs to be preserved, and it is in danger on so many levels.
That's correct. So in the interest of protecting wildlife, I am here to tell a story. Story is what I am here to tell, and I shall tell the story now.
Strap in, folks. We're in for a ride.
So we all know about Little Billy, and of course, Little Billy had a wild life, but he lived in a boring little town. No matter how boring you think your town is, his town was more boring. There was not really anything exciting there. The the only attraction was this rundown old zoo. Well, I call it a zoo. It wasn't really much of a zoo. Like, all it had were like, run of the mill, really run of the mill animals. Like there there was a cow, there were a couple of pigs, there was a sheep for a while. Then the owner of the zoo ate the sheep. It was very tragic. One time, little Billy actually woke up and found that his family dog was missing, and he went over to the zoo, and they were trying to pass off his family dog as an attraction, and there was a big lawsuit involved with that, but that's another story entirely. But one day, little Billy was coming home from school, and he was going past the zoo, and he noticed something. There was a new enclosure in the zoo, brand spanking new. And so he was like, huh, I wonder if we're going to get any actual good animals, or if this is going to be a rabbit, or if this is going to be a tin can with a cat picture on it again, like last Thursday. So he runs into the zoo to see what it is, and within that new enclosure, there is a bright purple gorilla. Holy crap, a bright purple gorilla. And the zookeeper sees little Billy, and he's like, ah, yes, this is the Pan Fandango gorilla. We imported it from Nicaragua just this weekend. Nicaragua? But I didn't think that gorillas were native to South America. Shut up, you damn kid. The Pan Fandango gorilla here, he's a great animal. He's super intelligent. He cleans his own enclosure. He builds his own shelters. Hell, he just filed my tax return for the zoo. It was amazing. Most accurate tax return I've ever seen. He's really friendly too, you know. You can like wave at him, he'll wave back. Sometimes he'll play ball with the visitors. One time I swear I saw him play poker with a guy. Amazing, remarkable creature. J- just one thing. You can't touch the purple Fandango gorilla. And so with that, the zookeeper walks off. Curious, little Billy sneaks closer to the enclosure, a little bit closer, and the bright purple Fandango gorilla walks up to him. Little Billy reaches out to touch, and the gorilla reaches back, and there is an upswell of music. But the zookeeper arrives back and shouts, like, what did I tell you? No touching the purple Fandango gorilla. And little Billy is escorted out of the zoo. But little Billy, while he's lying in bed, he thinks to himself, I'ma touch the purple Fandango gorilla. I'ma do it. And so little Billy sneaks out of his house late that night, and he goes into the zoo while the zookeeper is asleep. He would be at the bar, but there is no bar in this boring little town. And so little Billy sneaks in and he sees the purple Fandango gorilla. He is sitting there working on a crossword puzzle. So little Billy comes up to the enclosure once again, and he reaches out. The purple Fandango reaches back. There is an upswell of dramatic music, and the gorilla and little Billy touch each other. And Suraht, I need your help right now. Um, the upon being touched, the gorilla suddenly unleashes a colossus yell. Very much like that. And little Billy thinks, "Oh crap." The gorilla starts climbing out of the enclosure, and little Billy runs. He runs as fast as his little legs can take him. He runs into his house. He locks the door. He runs upstairs and he goes into his bed and he hides under the covers. But he hears breathing inside his room. And so he peeks out of the covers, and somehow, standing in his room, even after he'd locked the doors, is the purple Fandango gorilla. Little Billy opens the window, and he jumps out of the window. And luckily, there happens to be a fat guy underneath. He lands on the fat guy, and the fat guy is now significantly shorter. And little Billy, he runs. He runs, and he ran, and he ran, and he ran. He runs all the way to the next town, the town of Shelbyville, which is way more exciting. In fact, they have a zoo. But unlike the zoo in his town, Shelbyville Zoo has like actual good animals, like elephants and like tigers. There's a Cthulhu in the zoo, believe it or not. Not as exciting as you'd think it would be, the Cthulhu, but he's there, And so little Billy runs into the Shelbyville Zoo, and he's like, "I'll be safe here among the other animals." In fact, they have a regular gorilla exhibit here. I'll just hide in the regular gorilla exhibit until all this blows over. But so he's in the regular gorilla exhibit, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 gorillas. Wait, there aren't usually 4 gorillas here. One of the gorillas runs under the waterfall, and dye washes out of that gorilla's fur. And oh my god, that's not a silverback gorilla. It's the purple Fandango gorilla. Oh god, he followed me here to the zoo. So little Billy climbs out of the gorilla enclosure and he runs and he runs and he runs and he runs. And while he's running, he decides he's hungry, so he goes to the local Wendy's. He goes to the Wendy's and he runs in, and there's someone at the register. Can I take your order, sir? Yeah, I'd like the Baconator meal, and I'd like to supersize it because I'm doing a whole lot of running. And so the person at the register speaks into the mic to the cook in the back. Want a Baconator? Extra large? And little Billy pays for his meal and he goes back to his table to wait for them to bring out his meal. And someone brings out his meal. But it's not just someone. Dressed in the paper hat and the uniform, it's the purple Fandango gorilla. Oh, god damn it, I can't even enjoy my Baconator! So little Billy runs as the purple Fandango gorilla eats his Baconator. And little Billy runs and he runs, boogity, 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 boogity. And he sees that there's that Alice Cooper in the town of Shelbyville is doing a concert. I'll hide out in the Alice Cooper concert. Nothing weird will possibly happen there, which just goes to show you that he knew absolutely nothing about Alice Cooper. So he sits in the Alice Cooper concert, and it comes to the point of the show where Alice Cooper is going to get beheaded, as happens in every single Alice Cooper concert. It's a thing. It's really cool. And so Alice Cooper gets put into the guillotine, and out comes the executioner in the executioner garb. And 3, 2, 1, they let the blade fall. Alice Cooper's head gets chopped off. They start singing "I Love the Dead." But then suddenly, the executioner pulls off his executioner's hood. It's the purple Fandango gorilla, and he looks out into the audience, and he points directly at little Billy. Oh no, he followed me here! So little Billy runs, and he runs, boogity, 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 boogity. And he runs to the local airport, and he buys a ticket, and he's like, I'll go to I'll go to England. I'll go to England. I'll be fine. There's no way the gorilla will follow me here. So little Billy gets on the plane. He looks in the cockpit to be sure. No purple Fandango gorillas here. Looks throughout the entire cabin. Nope, no gorillas. Everything's fine. The plane takes off. And he's flying to London. He's flying to London. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. There's no way the gorilla could be following him. And he looks out the window. He looks out the window. And following behind is a little biplane. And what's flying the little biplane? Oh no, it's the purple Fandango gorilla. How could it be? When did he learn to fly? That's kind of impressive, really. But little Billy knows he's being followed, so he runs, he grabs a parachute, and he hops out of the emergency exit, and he jumps out of the plane. And he falls, and he falls, and he falls. He lands on a tropical island. And he's there. Ah, peace at last. There's a ready supply of food on the island, luckily, so little Billy will be fine. There's even a spring with fresh water. Somebody left a fishing pole. It's a surprisingly well-stocked abandoned tropical island. So little Billy's like, I'll stay here for a while. I don't need people. I have food. I'll be fine. Um, you know, everything's fine. Like a beach ball washes up, and there's a face on the beach ball for some reason, and he nicknames the beach ball Wilson, and he lives there for a year or two, and he does the fishing thing, and everything's fine. There's no purple Fandango gorilla coming after me. But one day, a boat comes across his island, and at this point, little Billy is looking a little disheveled, and he gets rescued, and he figures, it's been a couple years. Surely the purple Fandango gorilla has stopped following me. So he gets rescued, and he gets brought back to America, and there's a big press conference. Little Billy, who's been missing for 2 years, has been rescued from a tropical island, and there's a huge press conference about this, and people are asking him questions. How did you feel? It wasn't that bad on that island. And suddenly one of the reporters raises his hand from the audience, and little Billy points at him, and the reporter lets out a Colossus yell. Oh God, he's found me! How did he find me? He's still following me! It's the purple Fandango gorilla! So little Billy runs, and he gets on another plane, and this time he goes to France. He flies to Paris specifically, and when he gets off the plane, for some reason they offer him a complimentary bird mask. So he puts on a bird mask, and time passes. He goes to French law school, and the entire time he has to wear his complimentary bird mask, and he becomes a lawyer while he's in France. He gets an assistant, a petite little fellow named Sparrowson, and he starts practicing law there, and he winds up having to have a murder trial, and the murder trial, he's defending a lady who is accused of murdering a guy who was wearing a frog mask, and the lady's wearing a cat mask. And the opposing counsel shows up, and it's a guy in a rabbit mask, and he's not particularly good at the whole law thing. And Sparrowson is doing a good. I mean, Little Billy is doing a good job at defending this cat lady. But then suddenly, the rabbit takes off his mask, and he lets out a colossus yell. Oh God, it's the purple Fandango gorilla! In the middle of the trial, little Billy tears off his bird mask. He runs back to the airport, and he gets back on the plane, and he flies back to America. And he flies to Hollywood, in fact, and he goes to Hollywood, and he gets the next gig he could find, which is, in fact, in Hollywood squares, because Little Billy at this point is a minor celebrity, what with the whole being a bird lawyer and having been rescued from being a castaway. So little Billy winds up in Hollywood squares. He is in the square right under Whoopi Goldberg. He is just to the right of Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried's like, "Hey, kid, what brings you to Hollywood squares? Did you need a paycheck as badly as I did?" Well, not really. You see, like I was a practicing lawyer in France, and I was a minor celebrity from being rescued from being a castaway. If you want to know the truth, I'm hiding out at the minute. You're hiding out? What are you hiding out from? Well, can you keep a secret? No, I can't keep a secret. I'm Gilbert Gottfried. They can hear me from orbit. Uh, but I still really gotta know. Does it have to do with the purple push pop joke? Because I can save you some time with that. Trust me, I can. Not quite. You see, what I'm actually doing is I'm hiding out from the purple Fandango gorilla. I touched it, and it's been chasing me nonstop ever since. You fool! What? You're gonna tell him? No, you fool! Whoopi Goldberg is actually the the purple Fandango gorilla. And sure enough, Whoopi Goldberg unzips her face, and it's the purple Fandango gorilla. Oh God, no! And so little Billy runs, and he runs, and he runs. He runs as far as he can, and he figures, you know what? I'm going to be prepared. I am going to be prepared. Going to be so prepared. You know what? I'm going to be ready for the purple Fandango gorilla. I am going to train myself in the martial arts. So little Billy goes to the Far East, and he learns various schools of martial arts, and he becomes quite good at it. He's a master of multiple disciplines, and he gets invited to this bizarre martial arts tournament to show off his skills. And he figures it's a great way to find out if he really is the best. And there's all sorts of weird people at this martial arts tournament. There's some odd ninja guy who can throw ice balls. There's a movie star who keeps punching people in the nuts. Um, he fights his way through this guy with blades that come out of his arms. There's a dude who throws his hat. There's an undead fire-breathing skeleton man. There's a shape-shifting wizard. What the hell is that doing in a martial arts tournament? Um, there's a giant four-armed tiger man, which little Billy successfully defeats. And finally, he gets to the guy who's running this tournament. It's this big buff dude with this odd skull helmet. And the big buff dude with the odd skull helmet goes, "You will die." But then suddenly the guy with the skull helmet takes off his skull helmet. Oh, son of a bitch! The purple Fandango gorilla knows kung fu. He was running this entire tournament. God damn it! And so little Billy runs, and he runs, and he runs, and he decides, in fact, the only way he will be safe is to go to outer space. And so he becomes an astronaut and he launches into orbit. And he goes to the far reaches of space where there's this weird space conflict going on. It's such a weird thing. Like there was a planet destroying space station which little Billy somehow successfully blew up in one shot. Um, and then he ended up on a snow planet for some reason. And then he flew to this swamp planet where there was this green Muppet with big ears. And while he was there, little Billy discovered religion. And so little Billy was learning the ways of this religion, which involves laser swords for some reason. So little Billy was learning the fine art of the laser sword and other space magic. He figures between this and the martial arts, he'll be well equipped for anything life throws his way. And so for his final test, the Green Muppet is like, go into that cave, you must face the inner darkness. Yes. So little Billy goes into the cave, and while he's in the cave with his laser sword, this guy in this black garb with this weird helmet comes out, and little Billy duels him with the laser sword for a while. And suddenly this guy pulls off his helmet. Oh God, the purple Fandango gorilla's a space wizard. I'm out. I'm out. So little Billy flies into his rocket ship and flies back to Earth. And he goes to Earth, and he winds up with a corrupt police department, and this town has been like mobbed by gangsters that in fact have kidnapped the president, and they're a bunch of ninjas. And like someone wants to know if little Billy is a bad enough dude to rescue the president. So little Billy fights this gang. He fights the criminals, he fights the ninjas, he's beating people up, and he's the most badass dude that has ever lived. He's he is he is kicking wholesale ass, and it's just epic and awesome. And little Billy finally he rescues the president, and like he rescues the president, and the president's like, "Oh, hey, little Billy, thank you for rescuing me. You're a treasure to this nation. My vice president would like to say a few words." And the vice president comes in and lets out a colossus roar. Son of a bitch! Who elected the purple Fandango gorilla to public office? And little Billy runs and he runs and he runs and he runs. Boogity boogity boogity. He runs and he runs and he runs and he run um shit. I I don't. Suraht, do you remember what happens next?
Well, the thing is, he tried to run back to his hometown, but there was a problem. An evil wizard came along, incensed by little Billy's touching of the purple Fandango gorilla. And this wizard shrank Billy's entire hometown and fit it into a glass jar. And then let his brother, who had been turned into a cat for we don't really know the reasons. That was an entire other story that we'll have to get into later. But this cat begins to torture. And suddenly a talking owl flew over, landed on a tree branch, looked at little Billy, and spoke in the most obnoxious voice possible to inform him, "Oh, little Billy, your family, your town, and all of your friends, including the zoo that you so egregiously trespassed upon, has been taken to an evil castle. You must go there, undo the multiple runes, defeat the wizard in an evil spellcasting duel, and then run away as they restore your town to its rightful shape. It will still be boring."
Yeah, it will.
So, Then Billy begins on his very, very long trek with the owl at his side, giving him all sorts of information, telling him about the poisonous things they encounter upon their journey, helping him to cross a desert. But as they sailed across the sea, they landed on a small island to, gather some more water because they were running low on supplies. And a couple of harpies swooped down and grabbed the bird. Grabbed his only friend at the time, the owl, and carried him off. Although the owl's voice was annoying, we did know that the owl was necessary because it's his only friend. He has no one else to turn to, no one else to go for advice. So he climbs up the face, somehow has acquired a magic harp along the way, and goes to play it so that the harpies may fight over it. And as he bends over to pick up the injured owl suddenly springs to life, looks at him, and with a mighty hurrah, leaps at little Billy, who then, oh god damn it, not you again! Why are you following me? Go away! And then runs and then uses his arms to paddle the canoe they'd arrived in this island with, and ran back to, and then just left, and then discovered that the whole thing had been a lie and his town had never actually been captured in the first place.
So little Billy finds himself back in his hometown, and he's like, God, I feel like I've been everywhere to avoid the purple Fandango gorilla. I've learned martial arts, I've learned space wizardry, I've become an adventure gamer, I was on Hollywood Squares, I saw an Alice Cooper concert, that was a thing. Where could I possibly go next? So little Billy, he decides to he decides, you know what, I haven't been underwater yet. Maybe the gorilla, maybe I'll be safe underwater. So little Billy, he goes underwater, and while he's there, he meets a talking dolphin named Delphinius. Nobody's gonna get this damn reference.
God
And
damn it, man, no!
they go underwater and they discover an underwater town populated by a variety of underwater sea life that are all victims of pollution. And it's very bad for everybody. And in fact, there's a mutant stingray named Flesh Eater who's been tormenting everybody. So little Billy proceeds to clean up the underwater town. And in fact, he even saves a giant whale named Cetus. And they are going. Cetus does battle with the flesh-eating manta ray, but just in the middle of the battle, when little Billy is going to use a lionfish horn that he had acquired in the course of his journeys, which is another story entirely, but he was going to use that on Flesh Eater. Suddenly, Flesh Eater unleashed a colossus roar. Oh god damn it! The gorilla's a stingray. I'm out. So little Billy swims back up to the surface, and he swims back to land, and he starts ascending a mountain. He doesn't know what else to do. He climbs a mountain, and he climbs, and he climbs, and he climbs. He's at the top of Everest. He he did it unaided. He's just that badass, and he's up at the top of Everest, and he knows it's coming. He knows. And he hears the breathing, and he turns, and there it is. It's the purple Fandango gorilla. And little Billy finally is like, okay, I give up. I can't I can't outrun you. I can't beat you at anything. Just get it over with. And the purple Fandango gorilla goes up to little Billy. He goes up, and he goes up. He gets closer, closer. Tag! You're it! I think I killed Raven.
I am staring at your icon with such a look, sir.
I was an accomplice to this.
Yeah, you were.
I am not surprised.
It was completely unplanned, but I was an accomplice to this. I can't believe you brought up EcoQuest of all things.
I mean, you brought up King's Quest V.
Yes,
Fair is fair.
Yes, it is.
I played through EcoQuest more than once as a kid. But yes, that is the tale of Little Billy and the purple Pan Fandango gorilla.
Yeah, I figured he's either going to end in tag or is going to end in you dropped your pin. One of the two.
I like that even better.
That's gonna be version 2 of this story.
So Little
No, once is enough. Yes, this is half an hour. Everyone who's listening to this ain't going to get back.
Yep. I legit don't know how long that joke took, so.
Well,
I wasn't looking. It took at least 40 minutes.
Yes.
The video's on 31 minutes, 30 seconds.
So yeah, you were in the 45-minute range, I think.
This was fun.
And of course, you have to tag off to somebody so you can get a drink of water halfway through. You know.
I did not actually get a drink of water. I was considering it, but I really wanted to see where you would take it.
You fool.
You fool!
You fool!
You foolish fool! You fool of a fool of a fool!
And just in case you haven't seen it, there is basically a montage of all the time Gilbert Gottfried has gone, "You fool!" on Hollywood squares.
It's the greatest thing ever.
Yes, it is.
So yes,
I'm gonna believe him. You fool! You know.
He was a wizard at that game.
Yes.
so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary pals. There has been a purple Pan Fandango gorilla. Thanks to JKLantern and Suraht. Do yourself a favour. Never join a project with the pair of them together. You get stuff like this. Or better yet, do it anyway and see the chaos.
Woo!
Insert Colossus roar here.
So yes, thank you to my co-host for this nonsense. Thank you for everyone who's managed to listen to this all the way through. We'll probably have more story time for Lantern down the line.
Assuming everyone lets us survive.
True.
Yep.
So until next time, be good, be well, and beware the Pan Fandango gorilla.
Yes, if you see a purple Pan Fandango gorilla, don't touch it.
Bye, folks.
Later.
Later.